I want Paul that was borderline wrong.
No, he's on.
I have one.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was very important one.
Somebody have a part in it or something?
Granddaughter.
Part.
Yeah.
And for my last time, we'll call the December 13th, December 13th, 2021 meeting to order. Ask clerk to take roll.
Walters.
Here.
Dvorak.
Here.
Vogel. Here. Anderson.
Here.
Sarchet.
Present. First item on the agenda is approval of the agenda. I have no additions or corrections. I'd take a motion, please.
Second.
Roll call.
Anderson.
Yes.
Sarchet.
Yes.
Walters.
Yes.
Dvorak.
Yes.
Vogel. Yes.
Motion carries. Next item, presentation by Bridget Voss, Executive Director, Go Polk City. Floor is yours. At least two of us are festive tonight.
Yeah, festive. Bridget DeVos, Executive Director, Go Polk City, 302 West 5. I know typically in the past it's just been a letter in your packet, but I thought it would be fun, Jim, so he doesn't fall asleep, to kind of talk about a year in review, this being a unique year in itself. So, yeah. So the first slide here is something that I implemented at the beginning of 2021, a couple of new marketing strategies. Everyone has gone to a QR code. So in Saylorville Lake Guide that we have advertised in the past, we have always put our schedule of events in. And at the beginning of 21, we weren't sure what our schedule of events were going to be. So we linked up this QR code to our website, changed dates, that sort of thing, and it has proved to be a good response. Obviously, we get a lot of people from Prairie Flower, Cherry Glen, that frequent Polk City in the summer, farmers markets, the music, that sort of thing. So that will be something I will be continuing this next year into 2022. The second picture, the picture on the right, is a picture of Nick Miller with K&M Productions. Something that I wanted to do this year when I'm downtown at partnership events, legislative events, is we don't really have anything to show or present. So I worked with Nick on doing 3 of the 4 videos. We did a video series kind of highlighting different things within the community. The last one that we just did was healthcare in Polk City. So those have been really fun to use downtown at events. The next slide. In March, Business Citizen of the Year. So Business of the Year was the Methodist Church, and Citizen of the Year was Dixie Beckwith with the comic cover. It was very low-key inside the church, but just as meaningful as the years past. What they have done up there with the comic cupboard, helping the residents that need food, diapers, the community being involved has been nothing of miraculous. Community, they continue to serve a lot of people on a daily basis. March, we started back with our luncheons, which was nice. For whatever reason, the community, everyone loves to listen to Chief Sipker, Chief Mitchell, the mayor. Those are key people that we have speak. Something that we'll be adding this next year, Chelsea. Oh yeah, Chelsea too. I was trying to think of who else. Chelsea. Michael Klein with the school. One thing that was just brought up to me a few weeks ago with the Citizens Academy, and I know Mike's not here, but we'll be adding public works to our speakers. We had some people that were interested in why has public works not started with the chamber lunches. So Mike has graciously added me to his slate of speaking engagements. Wanted to throw in a couple economic development things. Working with P&M up there on their new building, and then Quick Star For those of you that were at the Quick Star, the gentleman in the middle of us is the CEO, and he goes around to all the ribbon cuttings and is a very fun cat to listen to. If you didn't get to listen to him in person, I'd say.
He's my favorite human being in the world. He is. The guy was awesome. He was really, really great.
He is. Another one of the partnerships that I work with is North Polk School. The picture on the left is they're always trying to get their music out and about in the community. So this summer they were at the farmer's market. Obviously they were at their 5th grade band is at the square lighting. That is built into their school curriculum. On the right is a dark picture up there. Having the school involved with RVTV was fun as well. And that was all put on by Bill Capaldo as kind of my school contact for RVTV, and having that relationship deemed well. Couple of ribbon cuttings, Anytime Fitness, and then Susie Sheldall over on the corner. That was fun to get back into those. Next one, Working Together. I wanted to highlight that this last year we did something different with having the library at the concerts on the course this summer, and families really liked that, the community engagement part of it, them being involved. And then also the picture on the right is Jason with Kiwanis with the dedication. And just wanted to highlight the nonprofits in town, the Legion, Polk City Women, Kiwanis, all of them, of what they do for the community and working with them. Four Seasons Mini Fest. I had 90 days to throw that together. So I think it went off really well. I know you guys like numbers. We have access to a program called Placer that tells us how many people, how many visits were per event. So for that day, 6,000 visits were to the square that day of Four Seasons. The average person stayed 2 hours. There were some overlap of people that maybe came during the day with their kids, took their kids home, and then went back in the evening. But 6,000 visits for that. RVTV was another quick throw thing together. Was not sure if we were even going to have it. Got the phone call, and I said yes right away, and turned out really well. Fortunately, this year weather has been on our side for all of our events, so that has helped. For RVTV, we had 4,000 visits for that, and the average person stayed 2.5 hours. Probably some of us that brought the average up a little bit, I would assume. So, something that I coordinated with Jason Tran, and lots of thanks to him. This was kind of his vision, and I went along for the ride. Was Fall Fest. We are going to be having themes of wearing costumes now, apparently. So
Also his idea, right?
Also his idea, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm along with it. For our first Fall Fest, it was on a Saturday afternoon. I think it was a home Iowa State game. But we had 1,300 visits that day during that 4-hour period. And the average person stayed 1 hour and 45 minutes. So that was kind of fun. Light up on the side, on the right-hand side, is the picture of Mayor and his family. This being his last event to turn on the lights for the ceremony was fun. Obviously, weather was another huge component that brought everyone to the square. 2,700 visits for that night, which seems appropriate. It felt really packed that day. And the average person stayed 90 minutes for that event as well. And then just to end it, what's ahead? I look forward to, Steve. I look forward to working with Steve Carson. I know him quite well already with work with on the bike committee and community visioning, that sort of thing. But then also to what's ahead is, as the rest of you, looking forward to the Mexican restaurant being opened, the school out there, the daycare out there across from the school, Bank, Hy-Vee, working with them, getting employees for their businesses. So, as you all seen, the $70,000 ask, as everything else and prices of things have went up. But I want to continue to do some of the things that we started in 2021. And if there's any other comments or any questions you guys have for me, I'd be happy to answer.
Well,
Go ahead.
you do a great job, and I really appreciate you gearing the presentation to our slower members of the audience tonight. I think there's been a tremendous, these past, I mean, obviously, the COVID impacts the last couple of years have been no more prominent for your type of events than anybody's, right? So the fact that things have adjusted and been able to continue like they have, I think is a testament to you and the quality work you've done, and hopefully that the road ahead doesn't have as many of those tight windows to plan for things that you consider more time. I like how you've broken it down there. Again, I have no issues with any of it whatsoever, but just to say that, you know, this is an ask, and we kind of have this debate, not debate, but point every year on the funding, and I think it's a necessary piece. I think it put us as a huge competitive advantage to not do it, and therefore not even really considering not doing it. But the economic development piece of that is what sort of pays for everything else. And I know that you know this, and so you know, to the extent that that cog of the wheel here can be ramped up, and with all the other factors that were completely out of your control, and the curveballs that you've taken have been outstanding. But we're in a unique position here, and there's the commercial opportunities that we have aren't what they are in a lot of other places, and we seem to have some resistance to a lot of those. So whatever we can do to help with those, and I do think that the spend is a worthwhile spend for taxpayer money, and all the things that, again, I don't want to be dismissive because they are important. I believe strong, but the economic development of your presentation essentially, like I said, pays for everything. So appreciate your work and to be involved.
Yes, first of all, thank you for everything that you do and for bringing all this stuff together and get it started. And a big thank you to all the volunteers that you gather around you. We couldn't be Polk City without those people, and it's paramount that the people get involved, and you seem to be getting people involved, and that's a real plus for you in your position, and I really appreciate what you've done. Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to you and to all the staff. I mean, this is a partnership, and I mean, every time you look at everything we've done, it's a growing partnership. I told Jamie at the Square Lighting, I'm like, where's your pop-up thing? Like, there's not been an event this year, you know, I mean, so to have that visibility for the library at every one of our events has been awesome. And your partnership with working with Jason and your costumes and everything you do to make, you know, enjoyable events for our city. And it's fun to see you guys working together. And I know not a single one of these events doesn't involve police, fire, public works. So I really appreciate the partnership that goes both ways. I mean, you know, the dollar support is one thing, but the partnership in these awesome events that we've created to bring our community together, because I think the number one thing our citizens want is to feel like a small community. And, you know, just having done the Square Lighting or Light Up Polk City, I mean, it's so apparent there. So the work that goes into it, the investment, and the value back to the businesses, because that is the thing that people see less. You know, those events are the visibility, but the economic development work you do, the value you bring to our businesses, and I know one particular business owner and multiple. I mean, the support and value you provide to our existing businesses is huge. So, thank you.
Couldn't say any better. I think it's a no-brainer. The events are, you can't put a dollar amount to them. And the economic development, it's the best, probably $70,000 that we will spend on the city and investing in the city to get people here. And appreciate all your energy and enthusiasm and all the camaraderie with all the departments as well.
If you ever need someone to move tables, chairs, or put lights on toilets, there's a few of us volunteers that'll help you out. So we're at your beck and call. Appreciate it.
Thank you. And I would just like to say too, I mean, I know it's formal for the ask, but all of you, I mean, this past year, whether you're stringing lights or moving tables or helping a family in need that needs tennis shoes or buying gifts or supporting a school event, that means a lot as well too. Your visibility in the community, those events are noticed.
Jenny, can you make sure to get Councilman Walters' lighting of outhouses in there so he's
I will.
responsible for it?
Ask Scott Borwick for that too.
Of all the things you could have used as an example, that's the one you should.
Right.
So, and I'll get with you later again, but if there's one person outside of this group that I work with most is you. And when I was weighing what I was going to do moving forward, you were a big reason that I was struggling with this decision. So I enjoyed every minute working with you.
Thank you.
So item A, approved Go Polk City funding request for 2022 in the amount of $70,000.
Second.
Roll call.
Anderson,
Yes.
Sarchet,
Yes.
Walters,
Yes.
Borak. Vogel.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next item, public comments. This time and place for comments for any item other than those in a public hearing. If you wish to speak, please let the city clerk know or come to the podium. Heard from anybody?
Have not.
Perfect. Moving on. Consent agenda. Take a motion, please.
Second.
Questions?
No questions, but just want to acknowledge the 4 or 5 folks that are not seeking a reappointment. It's a lot of years of service there, and appreciate all the involvement of those folks.
Well said. I would also, was going to say, Dennis and John and Bill Sharp, Ashley, they're all people that have been really involved for a very long time. Really appreciate their time and commitment. We know the pay is not real good, so having volunteers certainly it doesn't go without being noticed. So yeah, I do appreciate all their time.
Roll call, please.
Borak.
Yes.
Vogel.
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Sarchet,
Yes.
Walters.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next item, Snyder and Associates invoice in the amount of $29,059.25 for October 2021 engineering services. Need a motion, please.
Second.
Roll call.
Borak.
Yes.
Vogel.
Yeah.
Anderson,
Yes.
Sarchet,
Yes.
Walters.
Abstain.
Motion carries. Next item, third reading of ordinance 2021-2300, amending chapter 69 of parking regulations. Motion, please.
Second.
Roll call.
Sarchet,
Yes.
Walters,
Yes.
Borak.
Yes.
Vogel.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Motion carries. Last item, third reading of ordinance 2021-2400, adopting the code of ordinances of the city of Polk City, Iowa. Need a motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Vogel.
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Sarchet,
Yes.
Walters,
Yes.
Borak.
Motion carries. Next item, reports and particulars, mayor designations, rotation and flow. Anything on this we need
I
to
just
discuss, or
included
just you
it
put
in
it
the
there?
packet.
Just make sure everybody saw it, I guess, right?
Everybody knows who the next pro tem is, and
I have something important to say.
okay.
To speak to.
Under mayor designations, rotation and flow.
No, the next part.
The next
Oh, okay, you want me to call the next one? Okay, Ron,
I'm anxious, no.
okay. Mayor, council, city manager, staff, boards, and commissions. Anybody have any other thing else to report? Ron? Okay, fine, go ahead.
I'd like for you to come down if you would.
I don't
please.
really want to come down, but
I know you don't, and we don't want you to. We want you to stay where you're at. You've made another decision to move on and see all of it, Jack.
got to see all that jacket.
I want to say thank you. It's been a pleasure to serve with you, and I hate to see it end, but like all good things, they have to come to an end, and the city will move on, and so will we. But unfortunately, it's been a pleasure to serve with you, but now you're leaving, so in recognition of your years of service and what you've done for the city and how you've moved us to a higher level and where we're above where we were in the past. And I really appreciate that.
second grader, but that's okay.
Yeah.
You're the one I'm
Long
dating,
way.
you're the one I'm dating on the second. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
I do have something to say. So if anybody else has anything else, feel free to.
Thank
Go
you,
ahead.
Jason.
Anybody else have anything else, or do you want to hear my 2 cents?
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for that. That's really nice.
Yeah,
I'll go before you go. I do want to say, you know, in my perspective, maybe is a little bit different. I haven't served with you up here as long as Ron or Dave, but did for a long time on the fire department. We've, I think, worked on a lot of things, argued about a lot of things, tried to sell a lot of things, and I've never for a second seen more passion from anybody or had anything close to questioning of someone's belief in for what you as the town they grew up in, their hometown. I think that is one of the most commendable qualities a person can display, is to find where you want to live, try and advocate for that place, try and help that place, try and grow that place, you know, however you define that. It's an inarguable amount of work that you've done, and appreciate all the things. The years are not the same on the fire department, and maybe they're a little bit different up here, but I can definitely speak to both of those as something that I've grown from and appreciate that. Like I said, in the fire department, the things you see and the things that we experienced inside of the department and outside of that were things that I won't forget. Again, just appreciate all you've done, and forward to having a little bit more free time than you definitely are.
Thank you.
Yep, I'll say thank you as well. I don't think I'd be sitting up here if it wasn't for you. We had conversations, and
I
yeah.
don't know whether that's good or bad. When you,
Well,
when you tell me that a lot, like, I don't know, maybe say.
No, but it's true. Ask everybody else out
No,
there
I
what
know,
they
I
think
know.
about
I
that.
know, I
No,
know. Just give me a
but no, yeah, just have really appreciated serving with you, all the conversations we've had over time, and people don't have a clue how much you've had on your shoulders over the years, again, stemming back from before I even thought about moving to Polk City, you know, and all the roles you served here, and like Rob said, passion for serving your community. You've accomplished a lot here, so hopefully you can take a much-deserved break and sit back, and we'll try not to mess anything up for you, right? But no, thank you.
You may be a better councilman, honestly. Just your passion and trying to appreciate how much you love the city, and it draws us in, at least for me as a councilman, to give all I can, seeing, you know, our leader putting everything forward and being everywhere, and just being vulnerable with the community the way you do. Just really appreciate what you've had the last 8 years, and you won't have to worry about Mondays anymore. As our council on Sunday night, you won't have to be like, well, I got nothing. Let's go to Steve now.
There you go.
Appreciate it, man, really, very much.
Yeah, I put a reminder on my calendar on January 10th to text Kara to make sure she puts a dinner plate out for you. 'Cause
Yeah, no kidding.
you haven't had that on a lot of Mondays for the past 8 years. I'm sure your family will appreciate you being home more. Wish you the best of luck.
Thanks, man.
I'm just pleased and proud that I got to be the one to present that plaque to you, and I'm happy that we got through it. Because I could have shed tears.
Now you gotta get through what I have to say, so, sorry. Before we go on to what I have to say, does anybody have anything else, not for me, not for my sake, does any have anything else to add for the good of the cause? No? Anything?
Yeah, I was just gonna make an announcement that we are gonna be hiring a full-time police officer. We have a vacancy open up. His last shift was lost.
Okay.
You see some background on that? Jeremy Burgess.
Anybody have anything else? Otherwise, I gotta try to get through what I gotta say, so I'll do my best. So, yes, I do want to take a couple minutes to recognize a few people individually, and obviously just a huge thank you to everybody here and the residents, anybody watching, the few that do. But thank you to all of them. And, but obviously I got to start with my wife, Kara, and my kids, Skylar, Mallory, Rachel, and Aaron. I actually had to write their name down on paper so I didn't forget it. But they legitimately deserve far more recognition than I do. They've put up with a lot over the years, whether it's meetings or phone calls. Actually talking to my son this morning, sitting at the bus stop, and said to him, he said, "So tonight's your last meeting, Dad?" I said, "Yeah." And he goes, you know, every time I need you, you're either on a meeting, at a meeting or on a phone call. So I'm hopeful that I can be there more for him than I was maybe some of my other kids. But I've missed way too many events, and obviously that was a challenge, you know. And everybody does in public service and fire department. You know, we miss a lot, whether it's planned or unplanned. You know, and for them, the last couple of years particularly, you know, they put up with some unfortunate comments from some of their peers, and that was not always easy on them. And so, you know, again, they deserve a much more recognition than I do. But that said, I'm still very, very lucky. Secondly is my dad, the tree guy, Ken, the rock guy, or the old guy who just drives around the truck was held together by rope. Regardless, I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be finishing up 30 years of service to the city of Polk City. And actually had a conversation recently about how all that started, and it all started with a tree. And it's just interesting kind of how it's come full circle. The other one's my mom. Julie. So 10 years ago, we were by her side every day. She had a very short battle with brain cancer and took her from us way too soon. I so wish she could have been here for my 2 years as mayor. My mom loved Polk City so much. I sure hope I made her proud. Over the course of the last 30 years, I've been attending city council meetings for about 20 of those years. I've been honored to work and serve with 2 mayors, 3 city administrators or managers, and 12 different city council members. Without support from each and every one of them and you, I doubt my path would have been the same. I am forever grateful and appreciative to you all. Thank you just doesn't seem like enough. As much as I'd like to recognize every single person here by name, there's one person that I will forever be grateful for. Ron Henderson. I really appreciate you giving me this. So Ron, I'll forever value your friendship. I remember Ron more than I do most of my teachers in school. To this day, I have very fond memories of washing lunch tables and helping Mr. Ron every day. You will never know the impact you had on me and the countless other kids in our community. Having had the opportunity to work with you on a professional level over these years, Ron, it's been an absolute honor. The entire staff, and particularly the department heads, and of course Mike Schulte had to leave of all people, both past and current, and by staff, Amy, Kathleen, Bridget, I've already said them. I'm amazed daily in your dedication to Polk City. I have always and will continue to sing your praises to anyone who will listen to me. You are the backbone of this community, and I will miss working with you more than I can properly put into words. Thank you all. It's been a hell of a ride, from a young punk kid on the fire department to chief of a department and to mayor of the town he loved. I sure wish I had taken more notes. It'd be a great book. The last 8 years, I've learned a lot about acquaintances, relationships, and friendships. And while it hasn't always been easy, you know, in a small town, it's tough not to take it personally. And unfortunately, I just did one too many times. Politics as a whole has just become so incredibly toxic. Something needs to change. And I really just don't know what the answer is, whether it's local or state or national. But the current path is just not sustainable. I've had the great fortune to meet a lot of great people over the years. Far too many to mention, quite honestly. However, I'll never forget the time I got the opportunity to meet the Vice President of the United States. and having him shake my hand twice and thank me for my service. Regardless of your politics, a person would never forget that. And while there's certainly lessons I've learned along the way, there's very little I would actually do differently. I'm very proud of what all has been accomplished. I look forward to seeing what other plans we have set into motion come to fruition. I'll be watching, I'll be reading, and I wish you all great success. So in the words of the late, great Tom Petty, it's time to move on. It's time to get going. So thank you again for all you have given me and my family over the years. I am, as my mom would say, so lucky for the opportunity, and I truly appreciate everything. Thank you. Anybody have anything else? If not, I would take a motion to go to closed session under Code of Iowa, Chapter 21, official meetings open to public, to discuss the sale or purchase of particular real estate. Take a motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
DeVore,
Yes.
Vogel,
Yes.
Anderson, Sarchet, Walters.
Yes.
Motion carries. We'll take 5. I think you